Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a torta with some bad habits. Buy up, buy up. You ready? Let's go. Here's that intro. Welcome back to the channel. And if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that I stay kicking. And I appreciate the support, man. I'm very humbled by it. So are you guys ready for Fuck Rebecca and Jake Haro Friday? I know I am, right? Here's another video, man, that's going to boggle your mind a little bit. And is going to explain exactly what took place at court the other day, because there's a lot of rumors going around. And, you know, everybody likes a good rumor, right? But it's just that, a rumor. Over here, we like facts. Pura, 10-5 a key. I'm going to give it to you for reals, right? I'm keeping you updated on this case. And like I said, we are not going to stop till the wheels fall off. It's always justice for baby Manuel, as well as Promise, his big sister. And that is not going to change right here on my channel, man. Unfortunately, a lot of people that have been doing content, you know, have fell off due to it's just not breaking news anymore. You know, people move on, and I understand. Well, in the words of Soul, keep on moving, don't stop. No, I'm gonna stay right here, man. I'm not gonna stop. So we already figured that one out. So welcome to Oscar De La Hoya's Clapback Thursdays. I have Fuck You, Jake and Rebecca Fridays, and we're gonna continue to do what we do. Now, there's rumors put out that there was a protective order that went into effect on September 18th. When they did go to court, Jake and Rebecca, there was a protective order, but a lot of people, and it was circulating social media, that Rebecca's lawyer and Rebecca had placed this protective order on Jake, right? Now, that would put a cold twist in the situation. That would mean she was definitely distancing herself from Jake. But why the fuck do you need a protective order? If you're already locked up, it's not like you guys are cellies or something, right? Oh, no, my celly shit stinks. I need a protective order against that, right? Because believe if that was the fact, there would have been a lot of cellies that put protective orders on me a long time ago. Like, nah, man, this motherfucker makes knives all night. I need a protective order, right? That's not the case. In fact, the protective order was due to something else. I'm going to read you guys exactly what the protective order was, because there was, in fact, a protective order, okay? So, I'm reading this right here. This is straight real, right? The murder case of baby Manuel Haro, right? A judge in Riverside County signed a protective order on September 16th. Excuse me, it was the 16th. I'm correcting myself, rather than the 18th, 2025. The order, which was issued despite objections from the defense lawyers, that means both lawyers objected to it, right? Was made to protect the discovery evidence and prevent it from being released to the public. I'm going to explain that further to you guys in a minute. The evidence prosecutors in the case who are charging the parents with murder, parents, come on, man, don't use that word loosely. The monsters with murder believe the infant was the victim of long-term abuse and was killed sometime between August 5th and August 14th, 2025. The discovery materials likely contain sensitive details about the alleged abuse. So what they did is they put a gag order, basically a protective order, on the discovery. Now, let me explain to you further. When you go to trial, when you have a court case, when you are charged with any type of case, whether it be murder, robbery, assault, whatever, you have the right to a discovery. Okay, and in that discovery, it's gonna tell you everything, every shred of evidence the district attorney, the prosecutors have against you. You have your right to a defense, right? That's law. So by them showing you a discovery, this is basically, hey, this is everything we have. These are the witnesses we have against you. These are the expert witnesses we have against you. This is the, whatever. You have the right to view that, and it's all written in a discovery, which is basically a little packet that you get, and your lawyer reviews it with you, or you get to review it, and they also have a copy. And that way you can prepare your defense based off of what they have, the charges against you, and what they have against you, right? So you could basically rebuttal. You know, if they have expert witnesses for DNA, then you could have your own expert witnesses for the rebuttal on that. If they have, certain character witnesses that are going to smut you up and make you look bad, you could bring your own character witnesses. This is just for you to be able to prepare for trial. So most people, most cases, they allow them to get their discovery so that way they can do this. This protective order that the judge put on it basically is a gag order. They're saying they're not going to release the discovery because they're scared of public, it getting to the public. Nowadays with social media, that's what happens. Shit goes to the public. Look, I understand that these monsters, Jake and Rebecca, have rights. That's just the way it is, man. No matter what the case is, no matter that there's a baby involved here, it's a child abuse case and murdering case, they do have their rights. It's the rule of the land, the law of the land. They do have their rights, but at the same time, myself, yourself, people that are watching that are very aware of the situation of this case and that there's a baby still missing, possibly deceased. We don't want them to get shit. We don't want them to have nothing. They got nothing coming in the eyes of the beholder, right? In society, in the community, we don't want to give them a damn thing. But our hands are tied. There's nothing we can do. We need to go by law, because if they go to trial, if they are fucking convicted, then guess what happens? Then they will be judged harshly, hopefully by this judge, not the other one, the one that resigned, that let Jake out the first time. But I believe this judge is going to lay a demo down. This judge is going to set a precedent. This judge is going to find them guilty, right? And he's going to fucking do a judgment that's going to blow everyone's mind, because these guys are not getting out whatsoever at all. Maybe Rebecca. She has a little bit of action, right? Jakey the Snakey is fucking gone. Earthquakey. Bye-bye, Jakey, right? Fuck you Friday. This protective order, the reason why the defense attorneys argued against it is because they want to be able to see what evidence is against them, their clients, right? I'm glad that they put this basically gag order, protective order down, that the judge decided to do this. And I'm sure the prosecutor was all for it, because we don't want the evidence tainted in any way. And for some reason, people like myself, Andatira, other content creators, man, happen to come across things, right? There's always going to be a person that likes to pillow talk, a person that talks. And if the discovery was released to the clients, it was only going to be a matter of time before someone could go downtown and get that discovery. Do you understand that a discovery, you could view it in the public? It's public just has to go there to the courthouse, man, request it. And in some cases, you can get granted the motion for discovery. You could see it yourself. And then that's going to detail what exactly the detectives have as far as the abuse allegations, what they seen in that household, how much blood there was, things that they found. Now, don't get it twisted. There's always a fucking rabbit in the hat. There's always an ace up the sleeve. Detectives don't say everything, especially that this is an ongoing case. This case isn't signed, sealed, and delivered yet. This case is still actively ongoing. As long as baby Emmanuel is still missing, it is still actively ongoing until they shut it down. That's just the facts, right? So if content creators, social media, big outlet medias do get their hands on the discovery, there was going to be portions and parts of that discovery, I'm sure, that were going to be put out there to the public. And that taints the jury pool. That taints a lot of things, man, that could actually, in reverse, happen to help Jake and Rebecca. And that's the last fucking thing we want to do. Now, they went to this hearing and it was continued. But at the same time, this protective order was put out there, right? Which I think is a good thing, because I don't want to see these people walk on a technicality whatsoever. I don't want to see a mistrial. I don't want to see any of that. I want to see them go to fucking court, the truth come out, and bitch, I thought you knew. You're guilty. See you later, right? That's what I want forever. And then whatever happens to you on that SNY yard, das. Hopefully it gets romantical in there, right? In a romantical way. Hopefully Big Bubba gets to Bubba, right? That's what we could hope for. As far as Rebecca, I hope she goes in there and gets her hair pulled. That's just how I feel. I don't like these people. I don't like these people, whether or not they killed their child or not. I'm not saying they didn't. I wholeheartedly believe that they did. But I don't like these people just because of the type of people they are. Stupid, lazy, doodle dumb. That's it. That's the way I feel. That's just me speaking in adjectives and verbs, right? I'll say this. Protective order, a good thing. But what also happened, right, was the fact that Jake and Rebecca distanced themselves from each other without even knowing it, right? Or at least Jake knew it. Rebecca didn't. She's too stupid to realize. Jake is actually the smarter one in this couple. right? Or he thinks he is. He's stupider than stupid doodle dumb, but he thinks he's smarter, and you can see him distancing himself from her. Now, this protective order does a number of things, okay? One, it basically keeps all the details of this case intact. Great. We don't need to know every single thing, especially something that's going to get put out there and the ball get fumbled and help these people get a mistrial. We don't need that, okay? Two, right? Anything that's in there can help Jake and Rebecca to cover shit up. Obviously, they're not admitting where the baby's at. Obviously, that's one of the key hurdles prosecution is going to have. They got circumstantial evidence, but no body, no case. That's the old school saying. Well, that doesn't work anymore. You can convict a murder case just based off of circumstantial evidence. It has to be a lot of circumstantial evidence. It can't be just word of mouth. It can't be somebody saying something and they take it as pura. It has to be a confession. It has to be DNA, blood, weapon. I mean, there's so many different things that happens to be. And I'm going to do a full breakdown on what do they actually have against Jake and Rebecca? What do we have? We know we don't like them. That's a fact. And like I said, it has to do more, not with the killing of baby Emmanuel, the alleged killing. It has to do more so with just the type of people they are, the abuse Jake did to Promise, which is unforgivable, right? Living off of the taxpayers' money. I'm just a firm believer in, man, I understand there's some circumstances where people need help, but come on, man. They seem like scam artists. This whole thing could be a big scam. I'm looking at every option that's on the table. Let's be real. Is this a scam? Did these people literally sell their child and are scamming everyone and willing to go all the way through what they're going through just to get a mistrial or just to get found not guilty and then get on their merry way with the little $500 maybe they got? We live in crazy times in a crazy world. Anything is possible. Now, if the detectives felt they had enough evidence, circumstantial evidence to charge these people, then I'm sure there's a lot more to this case that we don't know. They have doubled down on the fact that they believe baby Emmanuel was suffering long-term abuse. That means someone said something, or they seen something, or they know something, and it's in that fucking discovery that they could key in on that shows the timeline and shows what happened. Okay? Now, I'm glad that wasn't released to the public. I know we are nosy. We all want to know. We all want to know every detail. But the horrific details I could do without, especially when it comes to a child, a baby, especially when it comes to baby Emmanuel, right? I don't want to know how he died. I don't want to know exactly who did it. I want both these motherfuckers to suffer, though. So best believe that discovery will be released to the prosecution as well. The prosecution kind of knows what it is. The prosecution and the defense attorneys at the right time. But as of right now, there's a protective order against it. So not even Jake and Rebecca can look at it. That's a great thing. I don't want to give them a heads up on anything. I said yesterday in a live, man, having been locked up, having went through the judicial system a few dozen times, right? There's certain things I know on some jailhouse lawyer shit. And I'm not a lawyer, man. I never proclaimed to be one. In fact, I got some dude gave me the business yesterday because I'll explain it to you in a minute. What a dumbass. But I ate him up with just one little line, right? But I understand, having went through courts, trials, things of that nature, took deals, that sometimes reading that discovery will bring your attention to, oh, so this person's telling on me. Oh, so this person's telling on me. Even if they black it out and it's a confidential informant, you know who you were at that house with. You know who you were bent the corner with. You know who was in that car. There was only two of you. Fuck, one name's blacked out. It ain't mine, right? So it gives you kind of a heads up. And that's where tampering with witnesses comes along. That's when threatening and just all kinds of different things. Nowadays with social media, everybody's business is put out there like we're doing right now, right? And so it's hard for people to get away with anything. It could just basically taint everything, especially if they put out this abuse and it gets out here to social media. Like I said, you could taint the jury pool. You could taint the jury pool, man, and that could possibly lead to a mistrial. We don't need that. Now, let me explain to you what happened yesterday. So I'm reading my DMs. I'm reading because sometimes it gets brought to my attention certain details that I might have missed. I'm constantly seeking education on these types of cases, and people can educate me. And I've never proclaimed to be a lawyer. I only speak on what I've been through and what I know and what's consistent with what the masses say. And we always, as a criminal, when I lived that criminal lifestyle, we always had a saying about a public pretender. saying that, I'm not saying all public defenders are bad people and not all of them don't try for their clients, but the majority of them that I've ran into and that you've ran into and a lot of people I've ran into are pretty much overloaded with cases, right? They always look stressed out. They always want to continue stuff. Let's continue it. Let's continue it. I need more time. I need more time. Where's my lawyer at? On vacation. Where's my lawyer at? He's in traffic court. Where's my lawyer at? Right? You're waiting. You're trying to call the fucking public defender's office. They're putting you on hold for hours, man. The homeboys are like, get off the phone, in the county. This is the types of things that have happened that are consistent with what I've seen and what I've been through, right? So that public pretender name, took off, pretending to help you when in the midst of everything they're working, it seems like with the district attorney to just get a case wrapped up. Just what it seems like. Now, somebody got at me yesterday and they're like, I hate when people think they're lawyers and they know the system and they never went to law school, and I hate this and I hate that, right? He hated all kinds of things that were going to help Jake and Rebecca. He hated all that, right? And I said, I hate when parents kill their kids. Why don't you talk about the baby? This is a baby missing. Fuck the fucking public defender and all that, man. I don't care if the motherfuckers struck the game off or not, right? Doesn't matter to me. I'm not here for the defense because there is no defense. At the end of the day, two horrible fucking despicable monsters, two lazy idiot people, abused this child in some form or fashion, even if it means having that child around things that they're doing. When people are having sex and stuff like that in front of kids, that's a form of abuse. When you're talking loud and screaming and arguing and cussing, that's a form of abuse. If you're not fucking changing that kid's diaper or taking them a shower daily, that's a form of abuse. I mean, you might be able to skip one day, right? But that diaper is going to stink, man. Be a parent. Be a responsible adult. Have a heart. Fuck, man. If your ass itches, imagine theirs. Just be real, right? A lot of people don't like me because I'm too real at times, but this is just the world I live in, a real world. Now, when it comes to Jake, man, did this dude not bump his head? You can't put a burden of guilt on them and say automatic. That motherfucker almost killed his 10-week-old baby daughter. Fuck you, right? You can't say Rebecca is this and that. You don't know. Look, I know a hoe when I see a hoe. Okay? Straight up, man. Do you smell what the gun is cooking? Right? I know. Do you smell what Rebecca's not cooking? You know what I'm saying? Top ramen don't count, bitch. Look, I'm just being honest with you guys. I know things just by living on the streets, man, and by being in the the underworld and being out there like that, man. I could walk into a host house and I could tell you right now that chick got 4 kids by 6 different baby daddies. I already know. Or is it 6 kids by 4 different baby daddies? Probably the second one. I'm just saying, man. When people are quick to defend these people, I'm not saying that they did this or they didn't do it, but I don't like them anyways, because and I don't need them to have been, to say that they killed baby Manuel. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. There's a whole bunch of fucking theories, right? But this is a fact. That motherfucker, Jake the Snake, was convicted. Willfully cruelty to a child. He inflicted crazy work, right? On his 10-week-old baby Promise. That's a fact. And the fact is that Rebecca, when she met this fucker, she knew exactly what he'd done, and she still brought him around her children and even went as far as to having a child with him and maybe might be pregnant again, having a second child with him or third child, because I think the 2-year-old might be, I don't know if that's Jake or hers. I don't know, man. I don't even know if Emmanuel's hers. We don't know at this point. So the only thing we do know is hers is those 2 black eyes and that lumpy butt. That right there, for me, kills the noise with those 2. That's all I need to know. A woman that enables and condones a man that does that is not a great mother, right? Most mothers will not bring those type of individuals around them no matter what. A man that does that to his 10-week-old child, I'm cool, right? Fuck, we need a protective order in this world against him ever being around kids, period, right? But you know what's the worst thing of all? Are you guys ready? The worst thing of all is that these 2 fuckers are sitting in the county jail right now while their child is missing, and not once in court. They've been to court 3-4 times now. Not once have they asked, where's our baby? What are you guys doing to find baby Emmanuel? What are you guys doing? Not once have they mentioned his name. Not once have they did anything other than saying, we didn't do this. We're innocent, not guilty. Fuck you guys. You're guilty as fuck, man. You're showing no emotion. They're emotional that they're locked up. You know what I'm saying? It looks like Jake needs a shower. It looks like Rebecca needs 2 showers. I'm just saying, man. Anyways, that was the whole breakdown on the protective order. And for the people that keep going around defending these animals, saying, oh, they're not guilty till they're guilty. They're fucking guilty. Come on, man. They're guilty of being stupid. How about that? Anyways, that was Fuck You, Jake and Rebecca Fridays. Justice for baby Emmanuel. Justice for Promise and every other child that's going through a hardship right now, man. We're going to rock with you till the wheels fall off. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly believe in, and that's breaking down all these rumors. No, to recap, Rebecca did not put a protective order on Jakey the Snakey. The judge put a gag and protective order basically on the discovery. So that way you, me, and none of us could talk about it. Doesn't mean we're going to stop. We got our theories. Bang, bang.